Hello, I have risen from the depths of course recording. Oh my gosh, I am almost done. I only have 3 more lessons to record. We are 2 weeks into the beta round of my new course, which officially launches to the public August 10th through 17th. And I couldn't be more excited. I feel so good about what I've created. We're getting incredible feedback from the beta testers, and I decided to bring in 2 guest experts for copy and design as it relates to launching. And then I also have decided to include something so just like insane, and I've never heard of someone including something like this for a course, and I cannot wait to offer it. And just as an inclusion of anybody who purchases, no extra fee. I'm really pumped about it. I really just want to create something that's bigger than just buy it and go. I want to create a community. I want everyone to feel insanely supported. And I really have decided to build out the side of my business that's a little more geared towards done-for-you service providers. So we're running ads now on Facebook for my launch checklist, and I'm getting a lot of market research by doing so because I'm seeing who is most interested in this course. And also, like, our beta testers, everyone who is a beta tester is a done-for-you service provider. We're finding that the most interested people in our ads are done-for-you service providers. So I initially thought this course could be geared almost more towards like course creators who maybe couldn't afford the high-level help, but I'm realizing this is like definitely a course for done-for-you service providers who want to learn how to support high-level launches. Now, not to say course creators can't get a 10 out of it, they definitely will. Let's just let the data speak for itself. So over here, we have ads running to coaches and consultants, and then a low budget to my warm audience, and then done-for-you service providers. We're spending about $70 a day. And if we look at our results, 3 from coaches and consultants, 9 from our warm audience, and 72 from our done-for-you service providers. I'm still monitoring this. Obviously, this is insanely high. $18, like, that's ridiculous. Both of these are really high. I don't mind our warm audience being a little bit higher. We're only spending $10 a day there, but this is just ridiculous. But we've only spent $55 here, so I'm just gonna give it like a couple more days, I think, not long at all, before I decide to just turn all of that off. But it's definitely looking like we're gonna be upping our budget for the done-for-you service providers because that's performing quite well. $4.73 cost per result. Not too shabby. This is the first time I've run ads, so I'm definitely no ads expert, but I'm excited and people are definitely opting in. They like it. I just can't wait to see how this all grows and turns out. I just feel such a weight lifted knowing that I'm like pretty much done recording this course. My husband Kent has actually been in the field all week, and then he comes home tomorrow morning. He'll be home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then, well, we'll both be home, and then I leave Sunday night to go to Tulum. So I'm going to Tulum with some business friends. It actually is a business trip, although I am trying to stay mostly offline as much as possible. I'm very excited. This season is just so crazy. I feel like there's just so much going on. I'm gonna be so happy to not have course recording on my plate. I will say that because it's just been so time consuming, but worth it. I got new clothes. I have a brand shoot in Tulum, but I also have a brand shoot the week after I get back from Tulum. So all of the content happening, and I'm definitely gonna take you along for the ride with me for our Tulum adventures. That's my quick update. I'm gonna try to show you some more behind the scenes things. I've been swamped. And I was sick. I forgot to mention I was sick for 2 weeks and I was losing my voice. I lost my voice 2 times because of coughing and stuff. So I couldn't even record if I wanted to. What you are looking at are lessons that are ready for input. It's all ready to go. The only thing I have left to record is a post-launch analysis and then a welcome video as well as like an end of course video because this is relative to the secret thing that I decided to include that I'm not announcing yet. But I'm just so unbelievably excited. I can't believe I got all of this done. And I even decided to invite in 2 guest experts, so they are gonna send their trainings over. I just feel so confident in the transformation that this course is going to provide, and we're getting the best feedback from our beta testers right now, so I cannot cannot even wait. And also, I'm really relieved to have this behind me before I leave for my trip to Tulum. Yay! I'm so excited. Batch work for the win. I can't believe it's done. I can't believe it's really done. I feel like this has been just lingering for so long because I've had so much to do that it has felt like a never-ending project. I did it! Kent just got home from being in the field for a week, so I am logging off and try to touch base with you when I start packing for Tulum, and then in the next video it'll be all of the Tulum adventures. All packed. I've got my little suitcase, which is actually full of my friend Avery's stuff, and then I'm bringing to her, and then this is my little carry-on backpack, just with like my laptop and my medications and like anything like that. And then I'm pretty much finished packing. I'm just waiting on Kent to get home. He's gonna bring the GoPro in and a couple other things from the car, and then I'm gonna throw that in here. I've got a suitcase full of neutrals, and my packing philosophy is basically just, I don't know what to expect, so I'm bringing it all. Story of my life. We have had an insanely eventful day, and not in the good way. So sometimes I feel like I just like attract chaos when it comes to like travel and stuff like that, because what the heck. So initially my flight was out of San Diego. I was taking a red eye from San Diego to Atlanta, 2-hour layover in Atlanta, and then flying into Cancun, arriving around 10 a.m. I think it was, local time. And then I was flying home on Friday the 18th, which Friday was gonna be a long travel day. I had a 5-hour layover, which was like rough. So I was like, man, I really don't wanna deal with a 5-hour layover. How can I get home sooner? And one of my friends, Alicia, who's gonna be on this trip, she's flying directly from Cancun to Los Angeles. Well, I live like 2 hours away from Los Angeles, 2.5 hours. So I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, great. There's not a flight from LA to San Diego on that day, but I'm like, I can just take an Uber and it's like $150. I'm super down for that. I go online, I click like modify reservation, and I choose only the second flight to modify, and I rebook that, and somehow, something I did canceled my first flight. Canceled my flight from San Diego to Cancun. And so all I had was one-way ticket from Cancun to Los Angeles. So I was panicking. I like started crying. Kent and I were both like trying to figure out how to fix it. So we both called Delta, different numbers for like Delta support, which is who I'm flying through. And the people he called off his phone answered sooner. So I hung up on mine and I was talking to someone, and when I had rebooked for the Cancun to LA, I got like a 250 credit or something like that. And these people on the phone were telling me, no, you can't use that credit for when you rebook with this. And also you lost like your initial rate, so it's gonna be another $400. And I'm like flipping out. I've already spent $1,600 on this flight, on round trip. I mean, actually $1,800 if you include I got the like protection, $200 like flight protection in case I needed to cancel. And so I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like freaking out, and I'm pissed off because I'm like, I never clicked anything that said cancel. I'm like, I don't even know how this got canceled. Like, I don't even understand because nothing I clicked said that. So I'm freaking out. I'm like talking to this guy, Kent standing, like sitting next to me, we've got the person on speaker. Kent's like, okay, like let's just book it. Like, just book it for you. Like, let's just do it. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, fine. So the guy on the phone is like, okay, let me get a hold of our ticketing department, blah, blah, blah. So he's going back and forth, he's on hold, and he's like, well, I can't get you the same flight, but for, you know, $400 more, like I can rebook you on a flight from Los Angeles and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see if this is even a possibility, because I'd have to drive to LA, which is not a problem, but I have a shuttle picking me up at the airport. So I was like, I need to make sure I can get a shuttle that early, because my original shuttle was like at like 10:30. I'm like, can you just wait on hold? Let me find this out. As I'm talking to Shannon and trying to figure this out, I get a call on my cell phone from the actual Delta, and the guy says, hi, you know, is this Brittany? I hear like you're having some issues with your flight. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, are you currently talking to someone who's helping you? I was like, yeah. He's like, is it a family member or is it? I was like, no, we're actually on hold with Delta. And he goes, yeah, no, you're not. I'm like, what? Apparently, in the chaos of scrambling to try to fix this, we called a scam number, and that's who we had been talking to. And he's like, yeah, the guy's like pretending to be your dad, saying, and I'm like, okay, well, you should maybe confirm that that family member is alive before impersonating them. But yeah, the guy from the actual Delta was like, yeah, he was like pretending to be your dad, gave me some crazy story, and like I just thought it sounded kind of weird, and I wanted to check in with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thankfully we hadn't given like card info or anything to the scammers, so like that's fine. Nothing actually bad happened, but the real Delta people were so nice. Oh my gosh, he rebooked me. He's like, I'm just gonna do an even exchange. I'm not gonna like charge you anything. And now I'm on direct flights both ways. So I do leave and return out of Los Angeles, but I have a direct flight from Los Angeles to Cancun. So it's a 5-hour red eye. So I'm just gonna sleep the whole way there. And then on the way back, I have a direct flight from Cancun to Los Angeles, and I'm gonna be sitting next to my friend Alicia. So I'm like, okay, thank God this worked out. It was an emotional hour span of this just like going on, but I'm so grateful and relieved that was all worked out. And yeah, so I'm pretty much all packed. About 3 p.m. I'm gonna leave around 6:45. That way I can get to the airport by 9, park, check my bags, like do all that, and then I should have plenty of time. I anticipate the airport being completely dead because it's like my flight's at like 11:30 p.m. There are not that many red-eye flights compared to during the day. And then I get in at 6 a.m. local time tomorrow, which is like 4 a.m. California time. That's the situation. Gotta love the drama. I cannot wait to get to Tulum. I've got a GoPro, and so I'm gonna like record with the GoPro. I'm gonna use my vlogging camera, and it's gonna be such a good time. I can't wait to hang out with everybody. I'll catch you on the flip side. I land in Cancun, but I drive to, or I'm shuttled to Tulum from there. I'll see you in Tulum.